We are here, Thomas Rhett, Better in Boots Tour, back in Canada. How are you? It's good to have you back here.
I'm better than I deserve.
Well, we're glad to have you back because I think last time you were here that I saw you was when you were hosting the biggest in Canadian country,
for sure.
CCMA Awards. So this year's awards are being hosted by Tom Green. I'm kind of bummed they didn't have like Tom and Tom.
I know, right?
Together, but any advice for Tom Green this year?
Man, I didn't need. I was so nervous before doing that, and like walking out on stage, like the reception that me and Mackenzie got was pretty awesome. And I feel like I loosened up really quick walking into the arena. No, that was such a fun award show because I've been to a couple of CCMAs, but obviously getting to host it is a different story. But we had such a blast that night.
Yeah, it was really fun. A lot of outfit changes.
A lot.
Not as many as
not as many as Mackenzie. Yeah.
No, not quite.
Yeah.
So you have 23 number one so far. After All the Bars Are Closed is closing in closer to the top of the charts in Canada and the US right now. What is that feeling like after having that many songs that have climbed the charts? I feel like whenever we talk about each one, it's still just as exciting as it was when it was the first one.
Yeah, it's so exciting. But also, like, I think if we're playing a little bit of inside baseball here, it's like, I think some hits were game changers and then some hits were hits, if that makes any sense. And so I think that every time you have a number one on the radio, like, it is so special. But I think what it does to me is like a huge gratitude, and it's like, all right, what are we doing next?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think just like continuing to dig into the well of, my life over the last 35 years, like something new happens every year. And a lot of people ask, like, how do you ever figure out what to write about? And I feel like I've always tried to do a good job at like really writing what's happening in my life. And so like I've already started writing for whatever this next project is going to be. And I say it on every record. I'm like, I think these are my favorite songs I've ever written, And if you're not saying that, then you're probably not exploring your heart deep enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Living.
And I feel like the longer you do it, the more you kind of earn the right to be able to put songs out that are deeply personal or, about a past relationship or, going into high school and college and all that kind of mess. But me and songwriter buddies are having more fun really now than we have ever had, making music. And in many ways, I have been doing this for a long time, but some days I also feel like I just started doing it yesterday, so.
I think it's cool too, like, because a lot of your fans were similar age. We've grown up listening to your music and going through very similar things in our lives at the same time. So you're like just giving us a continuous soundtrack of what we all need.
Yeah, and that's been like my favorite part about the last couple of years is like getting to look out in the crowd and see like some familiar faces over the years and now see that they have like a 6-year-old hanging out with them, and because we're all sort of doing life and turning 30 together and like having kids and all the stuff. And so it's cool to watch people that kind of were 21 when I was 21 now sort of invite their family into this thing that we all sort of did together.
Right.
And that's really special.
You had something really special though happen. 87-year-old woman that went to her very first concert ever. Yeah. How cool is that for you to know that like that was at 87 years, never been to a concert, and she gets to go see Thomas Rhett and gives you a smooch too.
Yeah, it was amazing. When I first saw that sign, I kind of quickly glanced and read, because there's a lot of signs going up simultaneously, and you kind of try to scan them all and kind of be like, and I remember seeing that sign because it was like neon green. And I thought when I first read it that it said, this is my 87th Thomas Rhett concert.
Which also would have been...
Which also, I was going to stop and say something about it regardless. And when I did stop, I was like, can I say that sign one more time? And it said my 87-year-old mom, it's her first concert. And I don't know, I just saw that woman in the crowd and I was like, she needs a hug. You know what I mean? Maybe I needed the hug. I don't know.
So cute.
But those are like some of my favorite, because you can't plan stuff like that. You know what I mean? And so it's always nice to just be super aware, while trying to have an entertaining show. It's also nice to be super aware of like what's going on in the crowd, because there's some big stuff happening out there. Like we did a gender reveal last week. Cool. Like, people are going through life and they want you to know about it and they want it to be shared with, the 15,000 people that are out there. And so it's always fun to get to witness moments like that.
So cool. And so you have new music that you're releasing, kind of like an extended version of About a Woman, working with Jordan Davis.
Yeah.
What is, like, because country music I feel like is special. Not every genre is like this, where you guys just continuously get to work with your friends. Yeah. And it's so encouraged and like celebrated for sure in country.
Yeah.
Who is someone that you haven't worked with yet? Because I feel like you've worked with a lot of your buddies in country.
In our genre?
Yeah.
Man, you know, I've known Chris Stapleton literally since day one of my career. Like, we wrote together when I was 19 years old, before any of the world knew that Chris was Chris. And like, all of Nashville was like, you have the best voice of anyone I've ever heard. And he's like, yeah, you know, whatever. Like, that's how as humble Chris usually is. And so, I don't know what kind of song that would take.
Be cool.
I've always actually been super nervous to ever ask him to do anything with me, because he is such a massive superstar and his voice is 70 million times better than mine. But I will say, getting to perform with Teddy gave me the confidence to maybe ask Chris to like sing. We're actually, me and Chris are neighbors, and we always have like Christmas light competitions every year, which is hilarious. But yeah, Chris would be like at the top of my book. Also Miranda. I've known Miranda for a very long time, and we've almost come this close to collaborating, and then the song either wasn't right, or she had another thing coming out, or I had another thing coming out. But Chris and Miranda would probably be my top two.
They could just add you on to their new song.
Yeah, exactly. That song is so sick.
Yeah, the song sing. So you did sing with Teddy Swims.
Yeah.
I was in the building. It was
so fun.
I feel like there was a level of your vocal ability that you hit that like everyone in that room was like
shocked.
Just
as shocked as me.
No, you like, it was unbelievable.
Thank
and
you.
I feel like songs like that, has it encouraged you to like test yourself in the studio and go like, you know, I can do this? Like,
totally. Like, I was writing this past weekend, and we were writing in a key that I don't normally write in. But I've been doing like a ton of vocal work over the last few years. I've been meeting with this lady in New York. Her name is Liz, and she has completely changed my life vocally. But it is kind of it's like, for me, like if I'm right here, it's been really fun to like explore super low sung songs and really high songs, because I've always been sort of afraid of both. And maybe, I don't know, maybe turning 30, like my voice just did something different and works different now. But yeah, that night was so fun. What you didn't see was like me taking, 7 hours before that of sheer panic and just like warming up in the bathroom at Bridgestone. But I will say this about Teddy, like, he is one of the sweetest, just most encouraging people, because when he is around me, he makes me feel like I can do anything. Like, I don't know what it is, but his swagger, just so nonchalant. He just looks at me in the middle of that song. He's like, "Sing, baby, sing." You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, you just were like, "All right, I'm going straight up." But he is such a fun presence to be around, and I think he brings out the best in a lot of people.
So cool. Okay, quickly, last thing before we go. Better in Boots tour. What is something that is not better in boots? What is an activity that you just are not going to be wearing boots for?
I mean, most things.
Most things.
Playing golf would be miserable. Playing boots. Going to the beach would be miserable. Playing boots. Wakeboarding.
Yeah, don't do that.
Wake surfing. Pickleball. Most sporting, except beer pong. Beer pong is definitely better in boots.
It might make you even better.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, so good to see you. Congrats on everything, and maybe we'll get to chat when After All the Bars Are Closed hits the #1 spot.
There you go.
Thomas Rhett on Pure Country.